Hello everyone, Jose J. Garcia with Garcia Home University here. So video for today. All right. So let's talk differences. Okay. A lot of questions are starting to come in more so with real estate and mobile homes, which is a great thing. I like to consider that like the next level of investing. But some of you may be starting out and that's what you want to invest in. You're okay with a mobile homes maybe, but you want that land, you want that real estate. That's a smart act. That's fine. Good for you. But the differences that can be not bad, but good and or different. Okay, because there are some positives to having mobile homes inside of mobile home parks. A lot of people, especially when they talk about, well, I don't want to pay the lot rent. Well, you do have a lot rent. That is a given. Every park does. There's a set amount, some higher than others, some offer more amenities than others, that sort of thing. But, there's ways to make money in these parks anyway. We invest in them every day. So, the profits, the numbers have to be there, the profits have to equal up, right? The ROIs are always the answer to can you or should you be investing in a certain park, right? Or a certain home. So, private land versus land lease parks, okay? Like I said, they both have their positives and they both have, I suppose, their negatives. So, let's start with land lease park advantages, okay? And some of those, I like to think that a lot of having a park manager on site, which every park should have. Some parks don't, but then you get into the lower grades of the park. They almost do the work for you. If there's a background to be done, for instance, and I'm going to just start listing a couple, they're going to want to do it because it has to be done. But by the community rule regulations, everybody that lives there over 18 has to do a background application. And typically that just saves me time and money because at that point we can usually request upon the approval of the residents that we get a copy. Okay, if we're going to rent directly, a lot of times you will get pushback on that. Let me go ahead and toss that in there. A lot of times park managers will say, well, this is personal information from the residents. So I understand you're renting. You just have to make them understand that yes, this is their personal information, but this is my home. So if I'm going to rent to them, I also have to know what's in the background, good, better, different kind of thing. So on that, but have rules and regulations for acceptable behavior. And a lot of parks have more rules than others. It just depends on the area. If you start getting into the 55 plus, you're definitely going to see an escalation of rules at that point. But they're for the benefit of the community, unless they really start tacking on. And we've seen some of that where parks just get, I call it crazy level at one point. I don't know if it's their way of getting rid of tenants. And yes, I'm saying that. But I mean, some of the rules that they just randomly pop up or little fines because of little things, it's excessive. So, but you have to stick to those rules and regulations, and you get those before you move in, or you get those before you invest. It depends which. So, those can be a good thing as long as they're within means. I'll say that. I mean, no real estate taxes. Let's talk about that for instance. If it's land, you're not going to pay. If it's a mobile home, I'm sorry, inside of a mobile home park, you're not going to pay a lump sum of the property. You do have taxes now. You have taxes on the individual mobile home, which there is not a decal on this one behind me. I was going to make an example of that, but yeah. So every year you pay, much like a vehicle. You have that little tag, and with a mobile home, you have a little bit bigger up, but it's the same thing. It's a registration. You're just paying for that year. It's not much typically, um, but it's a lot less than real estate. So that's I suppose a plus. Okay. Now, and I'm trying to think because I'm thinking, if you combine it with land, how, but I'm gonna leave that for another video. So resident screening, like I was saying, I like to think the park managers just do the job for me. Okay. Have amenities like pools, clubhouse, lights, paved roads, tennis, shuffleboards. So that's more of a nicer kind of type of mobile home park. You have and I say nicer. So okay, when you think of a mobile home community park, there's different ways people used to grade them. I like to do the A, B, C, D kind of thing, right? A plus would be something more like maybe down in Florida, community parks that they're 55 and above. I mean, they have so many amenities and so many things going. It is basically residential, kind of like a subdivision with HOAs, rules, and but those are very nice parks, and I've invested in those. I know some people have said, well, you have to be 55 to invest in those. You do not. You have to be 55 and above to live there, and even there they have like an exemption. If you're at least 45 you can. So it does limit you a little bit, but you do not have to be 55 or even 45 to invest, because I've done it and I'm only 30, 33. So that's true facts, by the way. Okay. um can make a lot of friends. A lot of people, the reason they you think about many times, well, who would want to live in a mobile home? when you think about a comparison between an apartment complex and a mobile home, yeah, an apartment complex, I mean, some people may consider it nicer in a sense, but the privacy that you get in a mobile home, you do not get in a apartment complex. And along with that, you build a community because a mobile home park really is a community. Everybody knows everybody. Everybody at an apartment complex does not know everybody. Wondering kind of how it's kind of weird. You all live there, but you don't know each other, and you're a lot closer. Yet in a community park, everybody knows everybody. So it's kind of interesting. So people would like to live there many times because, well, their aunt may live there, their sister may live there, their cousin may live there. So different things. So that does add a plus too. And I've had sales like that where people, because of their family members were living there, they decided, okay, this was a nice park for them. That's a plus. Park takes care of utilities and maintenance and grounds, and yes and no. It's definitely positive. And some parks, especially, again, I mentioned Florida a lot because Florida's a little differently. A lot of the rules they like to almost kind of do themselves and just kind of charge you, so make sure they get done. Like for instance, lawn care. A lot of parks would they're not gonna try to do that like up here in Georgia, where everybody has to cut their yard, they have to keep their bushes cut, that sort of thing. In Florida, they just go ahead and cut it, and you just kind of get a bill. Not really an option, so that just depends on that. But it's good because they do offer that. So especially in the one that we invest in Venice Beach, Florida, they do that. They cut the bushes. They all and I don't think the amount that they charge is actually bad. So it's actually a positive. If I was thinking get because I'm not gonna do it. If I were to get a lawn care company, it would be a lot more of that. So that was actually a positive there. I like that. Location generally closing to shopping. It is said that most mobile home parks are not but about 10 miles max, usually from a Walmart, from a big superstore. So, and that's true. If you notice that if you're in the city, you don't typically have to go very far to get to a mobile home park. Mobile home parks are not too far from big Kroger's, Publix, Walmarts, big stores like that. So that is a plus that a lot of times, and even trains, they'll have some trains, certain ones in certain cities I've seen where they have an actual bus you can take, kind of like a bus route, and take to the store, to the business, whatever you need to do. So that's a positive for sure. Less money to move in, don't have to pay for land again. So yeah, mobile homes are affordable living. That is a given. Regardless of how nice you make a mobile home, and they have some very nice ones. Look at the one behind me. That is a brand new 2021. So they make some very nice ones, but essentially a mobile home, when you think about it, is affordable living. In comparison to a house, it's a lot cheaper. It's a lot easier to move into. And if you're investing right and you're offering a lot of these options like we do, then you're making it that much more easier for individuals to be able to own their own home at one point. And that is the goal. That is definitely our goal, to continue to, offer this and make sure that we're providing affordability living to people. Not locked in one place, can move to another location. So a lot of people see that as a plus, see it as a negative. If the park and the direct owner do not get along, they can get evicted. They are asked to move their mobile home, which, if you know the cost of that, you're in the thousands. They can't be done. But we see it as a positive in a sense for us to be able to move them, because again, look at the one behind me. Let's say that this is sitting nice and pretty right here, but next year we can use this home at another park closer by. The lot rents here have gotten outrageous. We don't get along with the parks. It's time to take our business elsewhere. Unlike a house, we can't hook up to this, and let's take it down the road. That's the beauty of a mobile home. So just one more plus two, and I can keep going. The positives on there just keep going and going. And I'm not really even getting deep into investing. So there's so many more options when it comes to that. Maybe I'll make a video on that. The advantages of mobile home investing. That'd be a good one. Yeah. Now let's do private land advantages. Okay. So maybe you don't want to have your mobile home. Maybe this behind me is on a private pad in a piece of property somewhere. So you have more real estate at this point, especially if you do it right, where you retire the title or titles, if it's double wide, onto the land. You have real estate. So no lot rent increase every year. That's a plus. And they do. Parks tend to, I wouldn't say that every year. I haven't seen that in a while. And if they do every year, it's usually not much. It's more annoying than anything, especially if you have contracts with the residents, and then you have to go change them up, revise them, or adjust them, whatever. But I usually see $5, $10 a month. That's an up from where it was. But usually the parks that I've invested in, I've noticed that they got maybe a couple of years, maybe 3 years, and then they'll hit you with something more like, okay, this year's going up $25. So it just, they keep with the cost of living. I get that part. But if you have your private land, then you don't have to worry about that. There is no allowed rent. You just pay the land, real estate, but then you owe that too. So no rules about renting to tenants. That can be a downside to a park, and it's I say downside, but it's all how you build that relationship with the park manager, managers, or owners. You have to be transparent. One thing that for sure is, do not try to go around a park manager. A park manager will make you or will break you. Don't get on their downside. Hold them above just a little bit. They are in charge of the park. And regardless of what a lot of people may say, their credentials, guys, they're in charge. Okay. Do right, build a relationship, and stop overthinking what can and can't be. If you don't have a good relationship, and that's unfortunate, but it can mean that they may just, reject a resident that otherwise would get approved. Could you go through legality? And, maybe, but again, is that what you want to be involved in? So, in this example, no rules about that can be a plus. If you own your own land, then you can basically let whoever you want live there, right? That's on you. No rules about how to live your life, pets, kids, parking, guests, etc. Again, if it's your land, it's what you allow. Now, if you're a landlord and you own your own land, I would say that you probably want to stick to semi rules to what a park does. As much as that may seem like a downside, if you own your own land, that could be a positive to you as well. They put those rules in place for a reason. So, a lot of people may not agree on them, but I don't want people destroying my land if I do own a piece of land in a mobile home. So, something to keep in mind. Land values generally increase while mobile homes values depreciate. Yes and no. If you retire the title, like I've mentioned, a mobile home, much like people would say, and they're not wrong, when you pull a mobile home from a dealership, much like a car, a motorcycle, a boat, they depreciate. Yes, because it's personal property. But if you retire the title onto the land, which means you make it part of the deed, part of real estate, this same double wide behind me can actually appreciate. It can now be the value of real estate. Message me on more on that if you want to know more on that, because that's definitely a good way to invest in. I have an investor friend, partner who does solely this and makes very good money. All right, can have a big lot for privacy and enjoyment. So if you own your land again, it depends on how many mobile homes you want to put on there, how many mobile homes the city allows you to put on there. Don't forget that you can't just start shoving mobile homes in a piece of land and think it's going to be allowed. The planning, zoning, and building will let you know otherwise very quickly. So something to keep in mind. But yeah, good stuff. Everything has advantages, disadvantages. Find out what they are. Find out, and again, one part may be one way, another part can be completely different. We see that all too often, much like real estate. Well, you're driving through the city and you have certain subdivisions that are so nice, so this rules, whatever. And right down the street, you have another one that is completely different. Well, that's real estate, and much the same with parks. You may have two parks 5 miles apart, and one may operate a certain way that the other one completely does not, or opposite, or vice versa. So you just have to do your due diligence, do your homework, and find out what they're doing, what works, that sort of thing. And at the end of the day, decide, is this a good place where I want to invest in? If the numbers, everything checks out, and it solely boils down to like or dislike, then I'll let you decide on that. All right, I hope this video helps you. If you want coaching, you know where to find me, GarciaMHU.com. I got one more coaching option coming. I'm going to keep it a secret for now. You just stay tuned and go visit my site. Be sure to hit the like and subscribe button. Until next time, thank you for watching.